riding down the road, taking Mr. Joe Estevez back to Atlanta, Georgia, to fly himself all the way back to Hollywood, California. Alrighty, so Joe, what are you doing?
When I get back?
Well, no, what was you doing in South Carolina?
I was working with this marvelous couple called, their names were Daniel and Sonia Hamby, doing a film called Daydreamer. And gosh, I just enjoyed the heck out of myself. I played a producer, actor, director of this fictitious soap opera called Patsy Joe, and brought her out to Hollywood, California to make a star out of her. Of course, I had ulterior motives, you know, but I thought it just turned out marvelously, you know. It's funny, a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor. I think it's very moving, and Daniel Hamby, of course, directed, and besides that, he's got a son by the name of Joshua, who is just brilliant with the camera. I mean, this guy, he's young. I mean, he's like 16.
15.
Yeah, all right, he's 15. And he is just born. I mean, some people are just born with a natural talent for music or acting or whatever. This guy thinks in film. And I really, 15-year-old kid, and I was learning things from him. So it was a terrific experience. We're going now, driving to Atlanta, and I'm feeling a little melancholy because I'm missing the whole thing already. You know, it was quite an experience, and I'm sad that it's over. But I think we got some great footage, and I think it's going to be a fine motion picture.
Tell me just a little bit about the scene when you got bombed on the head. That'd be interesting.
Because Daniel, you know, Hamby, the director, and I'm trying to talk him into, you know, putting the camera behind me and taking a punch, and I roll with it, you know. But he said, "What if I just come and bonk you on the head like that?"
Yeah.
Said,
Joshua come up with that idea too.
And that was Joshua's idea too. You know, I'm thinking, oh well, you know, we'll see how it plays. We don't have to use it, but it was marvelous. I mean, it just worked. It was so much better than that roundhouse punch, you know, because you know, pretty much the whole movie is tongue in cheek, and so this just fell right into the whole theme of it, and that's what I'm saying again with Joshua. I mean, he realizes that instinctively, that this kind of, you know, physical humor is better than the violent roundhouse punch that originally called for in the script. But that worked out terrific, and I think they're going to keep that in the final cut. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask Mr. Estevez, my pal Joe, what was actually in your mind when Daniel first approached you about being in our movie and stuff? Was you thinking, oh no, I don't want to come back to this little hick town, or just kind of what was in your mind about coming back to? Because you just were doing a film here a couple months back, another film in the same area.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about? Your thoughts about coming back to this area?
Well, first of all, I do a lot of independent films, and there are some really great, talented filmmakers all across this country. You know, if you're an actor, you pretty much have to be home based in Hollywood and work out of Hollywood. But if you're a filmmaker, you can be any place. This talent for filmmaking just isn't relegated to the people in Hollywood. So when I was first approached about it, of course I'm very much open mind. I've done movies, you know, $10 million budgets, $15 million budgets, and they're garbage. You know, I mean, just throw them away. You know that, and I've done $150,000 budget movies that are terrific, that are gems, that are really great films. So I always keep my mind open about when I'm approached for a film. And you know, I mean, if it's something that's immoral, I mean, I just, and not that there's anything wrong with it, but just personally, I won't play a child molester or that kind of thing. I just really not like to that kind of energy. Not that there's actors out there, great actors that are playing them parts and done them well, and God bless them.
But the image does kind of stick with you.
Well, I've played murderers and psychotics and the gauntlet. So I realize I'm just acting. I'm just playing a character and trying to just present this character, whatever that character is, as best as I possibly can, and always pray before I do a character. And before I do my first shot, and I say, and my prayer is very simple. I pray, dear God, please let me be as good as I possibly can be with the talent that you have given me. Simple prayer.
That's great prayer.
Because we're not, it's not, we don't do anything by ourselves. I mean, it's God is in us, and I just try the best I can to bring God out. So anyway, when Daniel and Sonia approached me, I was very open-minded, and when I got the script, I said, okay, this is I hate this word, but it was cute. It was cute, and I met Sonia and Daniel on a set of Buy, Sell, Kill. So I knew them and got to become friends with them, and so I knew that I'd get along with them well. Now, I hope I'm not talking too much here, but when you get a script, when I get a script anyway, I just look at it as an outline.
Yeah.
I mean, I've changed this, change that. And if I feel strongly about something, I'll fight with the director for my point of view and whatever. So when I got the script, I said, fine, it's got a beginning, middle, end. Characters are, here I go with that word again, cute. They're cute. I mean, not endearing. They're endearing characters. So I thought, this is nice. We got a great outline here to work with. And then it's up to, well, how are we going to shoot this? How are we going to translate this into film? And I was just so pleasantly pleased. I don't want to say surprised because these kids are very talented, but I was just so pleased that we, I think, got so much more than what was in the script. I mean, we really brought it to life. We got off the page, and Sonia she was terrific. Daniel was terrific as Cletus. He gives me chills now as I think about that character Cletus. So, but it was terrific. I think that we got what we wanted to get. So that's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Sorry it was so long and involved.
God has definitely given you an extra dose of talent.
Oh,
so when you ask Him to help you to do your very best with the talent that He's given you, then you already know it's going to be successful because He's given you a huge extra dose of talent.
Wow.
I guarantee it. For me, it was such a privilege to get to work with somebody as professional as you. I mean, it was just such a joy.
A thrill.
I never, really expected to be able to get somebody with your talent to be in this
wow.
film.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you to say. I do, I work pretty much all over the country. I've pretty much worked in, except for Alaska, pretty much every state. And a lot of times the producers or the directors there ask me to speak to some of the local actors, and I think if the one bit of advice that I could give any actor or for anybody for that matter is to think positive, to hold good thoughts in your mind. And get rid of whatever negativity, get it out of your mind. There's no place for it, Irregardless of how things may look on the surface, you're fine. You're great. God made you, and God did not make any mistakes. And the one thing that we are asked to do is have faith. Trust what God has given us and just take it out to the world. You know, trust who you are. Never say, you know, well, I'm trying to be an actor. Say, no, I am an actor. Of course, there's things I got to learn, but I am an actor. You know, God's given you a talent. Be proud of it, you know. Show yourself off. Stand up, you know. But and this is, you know, pretty much the advice that I give, and I give it only because when I started following that advice personally myself, my life changed. My life changed when I was going through some really, really rough periods in my life back when I had a divorce. I felt terrible about myself, and I started force feeding myself positive thoughts. I'd read mountains of material from Louise Hay and Norman Vincent Peale and Ernest Holmes, and just I would in the morning I'd wake up and I'd give myself like breakfast. It's for an hour, and any negative thought I got in my mind, I'd work, and it's work. It's not easy, but you know, but it's simple. Yeah. You get rid of that negative thought and you replace it with a positive one. And I swear to God, things started happening out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Just jobs started coming in from people that I didn't know, you know, from casting directors that I hadn't been in contact with for 5 years, you know. So there's magic and miracles in this life, and you just got to believe, you know. So anyway, that's my advice to all my fellow actors. You know?
What a statement. What a
Yeah.